Hi guys, I'm Dan at vintagefellow.org, and today we are going to touch on why we hate e-bikes so much. And not lost on me is the fact I am sat on an e-bike at the moment. It's a really cool one I built up on a vintage bike for a buddy of mine a couple of years ago. It goes great, it's fully legal and no issues. But I can't help but read in the media at the moment there is so much anti-e-bike press out there at the moment that we just seem to be being programmed to hate all e-bikes. And I'm kind of going to play devil's advocate here and step in on the defence of e-bikes and the situation we're in at the moment, while I try and maybe scrub off a little bit of this downhill speed that I seem to be building up at the moment. Now you join me here on a glorious day in the south of France, you know, I often jump on an e-bike, especially a vintage e-bike conversion when I'm out and about, especially if I'm grabbing a baguette or something like that, and I really like them. I think they definitely have a very key role in today's society, but that's not to say they are not without their abuse. For sure they definitely are. Bonjour. Now, one thing we have to clear up straight off the bat. The term illegal e-bike is something that we are all getting at the moment, and to be fair, as a regular road cyclist, it's kind of a weird sensation to not be the centre of the hate all the time, and it's definitely shifted onto e-bikes and illegal e-bikes. I'm sure there's enough hate to go around for all of us, so we're not going to miss out. But you know, a quick flick through your any of your news feeds or any of the news stories, and there is loads and loads of articles on, you know, really dangerous e-bike driving, gangs terrorising neighbourhoods on e-bikes. Grrr, those food delivery guys, they're all really bad, definitely evil. Now, we need to clear up a couple of things on this. It's clearly a very emotive subject, but, and the first thing before anyone jumps in my comments below, first thing to consider is, if you ban e-bikes, what are we all going to ride? Not going to, only a handful of us will get back on bikes. The vast majority of people will either go back to their cars or mopeds, two-stroke mopeds, that kind of thing. And that's where the majority of it comes down to. If you don't have e-bikes, and they've exploded in popularity, they are the #1 hot ticket seller on all bike-related products at the moment. And they definitely fill a huge market, a huge need. Obviously, you know, if you're commuting, you know, e-scooters are in this as well, I have to say it, although I'm not necessarily a fan of those, I don't ride them. I can see why people do. If you're commuting to work and it's not that far, you live in a city, you know, an e-scooter that you can whiz along, legally that is, and then fold it up, take it to your workplace. Hey, why isn't that a great thing? And older generation, I know plenty of older riders who can get out and about again now because of e-bikes. Also non-riders, people who just want to get around, they find hills and stuff, they don't want the challenge, they don't want the suffering, they just want to get up the hills. And you know, absolutely get that 100%, and we all need to remember that. But the negativity in the press, and it's huge negativity at the moment, you would think that every e-bike out there is completely illegal, and it's just not the case. The vast majority of e-bikes sold in the UK will be completely, and around the world, will be completely legal and conform to that country's needs. Of course, there are some very bad people riding some very bad things that should be taken off the streets in compliance with the laws in your state, country or province. But, you know, These are things we have to consider, and we should be weighing up a lot more carefully when we read the articles in the press. Now, with most Western countries, the laws around e-bikes, they change slightly, but they're basically the same. They have to be pedal assist, so it comes on when you're pedaling, and it goes up to a maximum of 25 kilometers an hour. That's something like 19.5 miles an hour, and then it cuts out. That's all pretty straightforward. Maximum amount of allowed wattage is 250 watts at the motor. And, a quick flick through eBay and Amazon, you've got 750 watt motors, 1000 watt motors, and the negative stories and headlines definitely are surrounding very silly people who are definitely riding bikes. I mean, yes, I'm sure even this week we all saw the one about the 11-year-old who was riding a 750 watt e-bike which didn't even have any brakes on it. So here's the thing, at the moment, if we keep pushing this massive anti-e-bike rhetoric, there's a very real chance that e-bikes just could get banned across the board. And that would be a very, very bad thing. It's definitely something I would say we absolutely don't want to happen. Aside from the fact that bad people would still have e-bikes, they're all out there, you wouldn't be able to get rid of them. It would just be so counterproductive. I think they fill a very handy. Now, for sure, I'm no conspiracy theory kind of guy, but you have to look into where the funding to keep all of this anti-e-bike rhetoric in the media is coming from. Probably could be no proof, but petrochemical industry would be the biggest beneficiary if all e-bikes were banned tomorrow, obviously, because we go back to petrol, and that often is the case between an awful lot of anti-EV sentiment within the media. Is an old school massive industry with a lot of vested interest, but could more be done? Definitely. Now, I know the authorities like to say that it's incredibly hard to clamp down on illegal e-bikes. For sure, all they'd have to do is go out there, hang out outside your local KFC or McDonald's, and nab maybe 3/4 of the delivery drivers. I think you pretty much clear up the majority of illegal e-bikes on the road doing that. But also, the government, they could now just go in there, the same as they did with e-bike batteries and retro kits. They blocked loads of that being sold via eBay and Amazon, and you could just turn around and say, bam, block any electric bike sale or e-bike sale, motor sale via those usual platforms. Limit them, they're all at 250 watts, no more coming into the country. Now, obviously for the road it is 250 watts, but because companies like to claim, oh yeah, but they're for off-road use, private road use, so we are making them switchable or something like that, or with a chip or something that you can just change its use because that would be legal. Come on, we all know what's going on there. That's just a ruse. If they blocked it and limited it to 250, I mean, like the 250 watt motor on here, no matter what you do to this, it's only ever really going to put out about 250 watts max. And on a bike like this, that's more than enough. You'd be insane to put 1000 watts through something like this. So there we have it. Next time you read or see one of those anti-illegal e-bike stories, just remember maybe there's something else going on in the background. And also, if you got rid of them all, where would we be? What will be the alternative? Well, that's going to be dirty, smelly two-strokes and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong again. Please don't go in the comments down below and start telling me about the manufacturing of e-bike batteries. I'm fully aware of that. And also, of course, well, the generation of electricity is not clean. Absolutely 100% it's not clean. But it's definitely cleaner than two strokes, and it 100% any pollution is made outside of city and town centres, where because of population density you definitely don't want to be making your energy if you can avoid it at any cost. Because we'd all like cleaner air to breathe, I think. So that's just something to think about. Now, feel free to destroy me in the comments, because I've got a feeling that's what's going to happen, but I just can't hate e-bikes. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you again soon for another cool video. Thanks a lot.